There is a particular quality to the air when something invisible shifts, when the energy that has been circling in patterns of uncertainty suddenly chooses a direction, and perhaps you have felt this in the last hours or days, not as a loud announcement, but as a whisper along the edges of your awareness, a subtle restlessness in your chest, a thought of someone that arrived unbidden while you were doing something completely unrelated, as though their soul brushed against yours in a dimension where physical distance means nothing at all. The angels who walk alongside you, these beings of light who have witnessed every tear you've shed in quiet darkness, every prayer you've whispered into your pillow, every moment you've wondered if you matter to the one who occupies so much space in your heart. They want you to know that movement is occurring in realms you cannot see with your physical eyes. This is not about creating false hope or painting pictures of reunions that may or may not unfold in the way your human heart imagines them. This is about honoring the truth that consciousness is always in motion, that souls communicate through frequencies that transcend the limitations of words and texts and phone calls, and that the person whose energy is intertwined with yours has indeed arrived at a point of inner reckoning, a place where they can no longer remain suspended between two worlds, between the safety of distance and the vulnerability of admission. Your angels do not speak in a language of guarantees or timelines, for they understand that human love is a complex tapestry woven from free will, karma, readiness, and the mysterious timing that governs all sacred unions. But they do want you to understand that energetic shifts create ripples, and what has shifted in their inner world is now creating ripples in yours, which is why you may feel unexpectedly emotional, or why certain memories have been surfacing with unusual clarity, or why you've been drawn to look at your phone with a strange expectancy you can't quite name. This moment asks something profound of you, not to wait with bated breath for external validation, not to abandon your own path in anticipation of someone else's choices, but to recognize that you are being prepared for something, whether that something is closure, reunion, transformation, or a deeper understanding of what your soul truly needs. The stirring you sense is real and it matters, and acknowledging it does not make you weak or foolish. It makes you human, sensitively attuned to the invisible threads that connect hearts across any distance, and it makes you spiritually awake to the truth that love, in all its forms, is never truly static. It is always becoming, always revealing, always inviting you into new levels of understanding about yourself, and about the intricate dance between autonomy and connection. For how long now have you carried the heaviness of words that were never said, of feelings that were carefully hidden beneath layers of casual conversation and maintained distance, of a connection that felt electric and undeniable, yet somehow remained undefined, floating in that painful space between something and nothing where so many women find themselves, holding their hearts very carefully, afraid that if they speak their truth, they will shatter the fragile thread that still ties them to the one they cannot forget? There is a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from loving someone in the margins, from being the one who feels more, says less, and wonders constantly if the depth of emotion you experience is being felt on the other side, or if you're alone in this intensity, projecting meaning onto someone who may not carry the same weight at all. The angels see how you have tried to interpret every small gesture, every brief message, every moment of warmth followed by weeks of silence. Try and decode a language that perhaps even the speaker does not fully understand, because this person you're connected to, this soul who has made a recent decision, has been navigating their own labyrinth of fear, conditioning, past wounds, and the terrifying vulnerability that comes with admitting that someone matters. That connection is real. That opening the door to love means also opening the door to potential loss, rejection, disappointment, and the dismantling of whatever protective walls they have built around their heart. You have perhaps wondered if you are being foolish, if you should have walked away months ago, if your intuition about this connection is trustworthy, or if you're simply caught in an illusion spun from loneliness and longing. And these questions are valid. They are human. They are part of the sacred process of discernment that every woman must undertake when she finds herself emotionally invested in a relationship that exists in ambiguity. But here is what the angels want you to understand. The silence between you has never been empty. It has been filled with processing, with internal battles, with the slow and often painful work of soul, trying to reconcile what they feel with what they believe they should feel, what they want with what they fear, who they are becoming with who they have always been. The decision that has been made in recent hours is not necessarily about you in the way you might think. It is about them finally reaching a point where remaining in the in-between has become more uncomfortable than stepping forward or stepping back. And this is a threshold moment, not because it guarantees a particular outcome, but because it represents movement after stagnation, clarity emerging from confusion, and the kind of internal honesty that precedes all authentic change. Your role in this moment is not to manage their process, not to somehow influence their decision through your energy or your prayers or your strategic behavior, but to honor your own emotional truth, to acknowledge how much you have carried, how patient you've been, how much you've given even when nothing was being asked, and to begin asking yourself the most important question, regardless of what they decide. What do you need to decide about your own worth, your own time, your own heart? Every connection that touches us deeply arrives as a teacher, a mirror held up to reflect not only what we desire, but also what we have yet to fully integrate within ourselves. And this soul connection that has occupied your thoughts and prayers is no exception. It has been showing you something essential about your relationship with your own value, your own needs, your own patterns of giving and waiting and hoping, while perhaps neglecting the sovereign territory of your inner world, the sacred garden that belongs to you alone and requires your devoted attention regardless of who enters or exits your life. The angels are gently inviting you to consider that while this person's recent decision matters, your decision about yourself matters infinitely more, because you've been practicing a particular kind of love, the kind that endures silence, that makes excuses for inconsistency, that finds hope in breadcrumbs, that prioritizes potential over presence. And this pattern, while rooted in your beautiful capacity for patience and faith, may also be rooted in an old belief that you must earn love through endurance, that your worth is proven by how much you can tolerate, that speaking your needs might drive someone away. So it is safer to mold yourself around their limitations rather than standing firmly in your own requirements for emotional reciprocity and respect. The decision they have made is indeed significant, and it will reveal itself in time. But the decision you make about how you will meet whatever comes next is even more significant, because it will set the tone for every relationship you have moving forward, not just with this person, but with yourself, with future partners, with the entire architecture of how you allow yourself to be loved. Perhaps you've been waiting for them to choose you so that you can finally feel secure, validated, seen, but the angels are whispering a different invitation. What if you chose yourself first? What if you decided that your peace, your clarity, your emotional well-being are non-negotiable? What if you recognize that someone's inability or unwillingness to meet you with consistency and openness is not a reflection of your insufficiency, but rather information about where they are in their own journey? This is not about building walls or becoming cynical. This is about understanding that true spiritual maturity in relationships means holding space for another person's process while simultaneously honoring your own boundaries, which means you can care deeply about someone and still decide that the dynamic as it currently exists is not serving your highest good, or you can remain open to possibility while also moving forward with your life rather than putting yourself on pause. The mirror this connection offers is showing you that you are ready to shed an old skin, to outgrow the version of yourself who waits in the shadows for someone else's light, and to step into the fullness of a woman who knows that she is not half a potential whole, but already complete, already worthy, already deserving of love that is clear, present, and unambiguous. Their decision is their path. Your response to their decision is yours, and this is where your true power lives, not in controlling outcomes, but in choosing who you will be regardless of what unfolds, not in manifesting a specific result, but in manifesting a deeper relationship with your own worth. The divine messengers who surround you are not here to promise you a fairy tale ending or to guarantee that the person you've been thinking about will suddenly transform into the partner you've been hoping they will become, because the angels work in service of your soul's highest evolution, not in service of your ego's attachments or your human heart's understandable desire for resolution and romantic fulfillment. And sometimes, often in fact, the greatest act of love they can offer is to support you in releasing what is not meant for you, in walking away for what feels comfortable but spiritually stagnant, in choosing your own peace over familiar ache of uncertainty. Their warning is not one of danger in the conventional sense, but rather a loving alert. You're standing at a crossroads, and the direction you choose now will either lead you deeper into patterns of emotional compromise or toward a more authentic expression of your worth. And they want you to choose the latter. They want you to hear their message not as wait longer, endure more, have more faith in this person, but as have faith in yourself. Trust that if this connection is truly aligned, it will not require you to diminish or doubt or deny your needs. Believe that you are deserving of love that feels like homecoming rather than like hoping. There is a specific kind of strength that women are often not taught to cultivate. The strength to say, I care about you and I also care about myself. The strength to remain open-hearted without being available for situations that deplete them. The strength to love someone and still choose differently if the love is not being met with equal reverence and commitment. And this is a strength the angels are inviting you to discover or to remember, because it has always been within you. Perhaps buried beneath conditioning that taught you that your value is determined by your ability to love unconditionally, which too often gets mistranslated as love without boundaries, love without reciprocity, love at the expense of your own well-being. The warning, then, is this: do not mistake their decision, whatever it may be, for a verdict on your worthiness. Do not give away your power by making their choice the determining factor in your happiness. Do not abandon yourself in pursuit of a connection that may not be ready to hold you in the way you deserve to be held. The angels see the entirety of your path. They see the love that is waiting for you beyond this moment of uncertainty. Whether that love arrives in the form of this person stepping fully into partnership with you, or in the form of you stepping fully into partnership with yourself, and thereby opening space for something even more aligned to enter. And they are asking you to trust the unfolding, to trust that you are being guided toward what is truly meant for you, and to understand that sometimes the most spiritually mature response to a soul connection is to bless it, honor what it has taught you, and release your grip on a specific outcome, allowing life to surprise you with something your limited human perspective could not have imagined or orchestrated. If there is one message they want embedded in your heart, it is this: you are not too much. You are not unworthy of clarity and commitment. You are not being punished or tested by the delays and the silence and confusion. You are simply being invited to grow into a version of yourself who no longer tolerates being treated as optional, who no longer interprets someone's ambivalence as a challenge to prove your value, who no longer believes that patience means accepting less than what your soul knows it needs. And so you stand here in this liminal moment where nothing is fully resolved and yet everything is in motion, where the old story is not quite ended but the new chapter is not yet clearly begun, where you can feel the trembling potential change without yet knowing its shape or direction. And this is perhaps the most spiritually demanding place to inhabit. This space of not knowing, of waiting without guarantees, of feeling the pull between hope and surrender, between opening and protecting, between believing in possibility and accepting reality as it currently is. The decision your soulmate has made will reveal itself in its own timing, through actions more than words, through consistency more than promises, and you will know what you need to know when you need to know it. But until that clarity arrives, you're being asked to practice a particular kind of trust. Not trust that things will unfold as you want them to, but trust that you have the inner resources to meet whatever comes, that you will not be broken by disappointment, if that is what arrives, that you will not lose yourself in gratitude if reunion is what manifests, that you are held by forces larger and more loving than any human relationship can provide. The angels are with you in this in-between space, this threshold that feels uncomfortable precisely because it demands that you relinquish control and rest in the knowledge that some things are not yours to force or fix or figure out. And they are reminding you that your worthiness does not hang in the balance of someone else's readiness, that your future is not dependent on this one connection working out in a particular way, that you are not behind or off track or making mistakes by feeling what you feel. You are exactly where you need to be, learning what you need to learn, becoming who you are meant to become. There is something quietly powerful about a woman who can hold her heart open without clinging, who can love deeply without losing herself, who can hope without demanding, who can wait without shrinking. And this is the woman you are growing into through this very experience. Whether it feels like growth or just feels like pain, whether it looks like transformation or just looks like confusion. Perhaps you could take a moment now, wherever you are, to place your hand on your heart and offer yourself the same compassion you've been extending to the one whose decision has been occupying your mind. Perhaps you could whisper to yourself, I see you. I honor what you've been carrying. You are not alone in this. And perhaps you could allow yourself to feel whatever is present without judging it or rushing to fix it or pretending it isn't there, because your feelings are not obstacles to your spiritual evolution. They're the very texture of your humanity, the raw material of your deepening, the evidence that you are alive and capable of connection and brave enough to let yourself care even when caring comes with risk. If you have found something valuable in these words, If something here has resonated with the quiet knowing your own soul, you might simply acknowledge that to yourself. Allow it to settle into your awareness. Carry it with you as a reminder that you are seen by forces that love you beyond measure. And if you feel moved to share a single word or thought that captures where you are right now in your journey, not as performance or obligation, but as a small act of witnessing your own truth, there is space for that. There is always space for your voice, your story, your unfolding. The angels have more to share with you, more guidance that will become clear as you continue to walk this path. And while this moment does not offer you a neat conclusion or definitive answer, it offers you something perhaps more valuable, an invitation to keep choosing yourself. Keep listening to your intuition. Keep honoring both your capacity for love and your need for reciprocity, and to trust that what is truly meant for you will not require you to betray yourself to receive it. And with that knowing held gently in your heart, you can move forward, not with all the answers, but with enough light to see the next step, and sometimes that is more than enough.